Hi friends, welcome to Spring Boot series. So this is Venkata Bhaskar. So today I'm going to explain about Spring Boot CRUD operations. Okay, CRUD operations is nothing but create, update, delete, and then read. Okay, these are four operations we can develop by using Spring Boot application. Okay, before going to start, I want to explain about what are the HTTP methods is available. If you want to develop any API, these four API methods are useful if you want to develop any type of application. Okay, so now try to see guys, these are like REST HTTP methods. These four are very important methods. Now try to see get is nothing but if you want to fetch data from the server. Assume that when you click flipkart.com, amazon.com, you are retrieving data from the server, right? So whenever you are retrieving some data from the server, you need to use get operation. The Spring Boot is providing a get mapping for the annotation in the Spring Boot level itself. In the previously you used to do request mapping, you need to provide input as http method as a get. So instead of using the old way of writing, Spring Boot they given us new annotations like for the get mapping, post mapping, put mapping, and delete mapping. While developing our APIs we use these annotations. Okay, now try to see guys, for the get I am using the read operation. Okay, for the post I'm using the create. If you want to post some data is nothing but if you want to create a new record in database, then we can go for the post request. Okay, inside your server already record is available. If you want to update, okay, whenever you got the requirement to update some value, then you need to go for the put mapping, that is nothing but updation. If you want to delete completely, you want to delete a record from the database, then you need to go for the delete mapping. I hope you have a little bit idea about HTTP methods. While developing, you will have a better clarity. Okay, now let me start, guys. Now, if you see here, these four annotations given by the Spring Boot, you no need to worry about, just you need to mention the URL, which URL you want to map. If you try to see here, these four URLs we will develop four APIs, one for the post mapping, get mapping, put, and delete mapping. Okay, for the post mapping I will give some input from your postman. It's like a third party tool. Okay, if you want to give some data, if you want to send data from client to your application, you need to use a postman. Inside your postman you can give complete information of your employee details. Now we'll create a project of employee project management system. Okay, now very I will take very simple APIs. Now try to see, if you see here, everywhere default port number is 8080. If you want to change, you can change the port number also, no problem at all. Now if you see here, everywhere the unique value is employees. Okay, if you try to see, this is very best way of writing your program. Few people writing, if it is creating a new record means, here they used to write create employee, get employee, update employee, delete employee. They will mention URL names itself, but that is very bad way of writing programming. Okay, if you want to write in the correct way of programming, it should be a name should be very specifically unique. Now if you see here, employees, if you given as a post, the name itself you need to assume, okay, this is creating the employee. Now based on the get means nothing but fetching the data. Okay, if you want to update some data means you need to give some input ID. Okay, which ID you want to update your data. In the same way, delete mapping, if you want to delete a record, either you need to provide ID, either you need to provide a name, anything you want to provide. So end of this session, we will complete this whole four APIs. Okay, before going to start the development, first we'll create a project. Okay, that is your first step you need to do, and you need to install MySQL database in your system. Okay, that is your second step. Then we'll start our default project structure. Okay, while writing an APIs, you should follow some naming conventions. Your package structure like a controller, service layer, DAO layer. So you need to configure some package structure. Then we'll start from a model classes. Once you are good at model classes, then we'll start our controllers. So initial steps will complete, then we'll go for the next steps. Okay, so let me open IDE. Here for our development purpose, I'm using Eclipse, okay, STS tool. Okay, you can use your Eclipse, and you can integrate your STS plugin also. Here the direct way of you can create the project, it is very easy. You can create applications very easily. Now try to see, guys. Let me create the file. Here new, here you can choose Spring Starter project. Internet connection should be required while creating your application. Now here, try to see here, I'm using here what I can give. Let me make it as uh, uh, I will make it as Spring Boot MySQL. Okay, CRUD operations. I'm using, this is the project name I given here. Okay, and here if you want to provide, you can provide any domain. Let me give as a organization is my package. Here you can provide your description, anything, that is fine. You can say CRUD operations. Okay, now try to see here, I'm choosing the Maven project. Here I'm using as a jar file. Here I'm using a Java 8 version. I'm using the Java language. Now let me click next. Okay, here if you want to develop web application, now you are using RESTful web services, right? If you are giving a request is in JSON data, you will receive a response. By default, it will be run on the Tomcat server. Already these things I already explained in the initial session. Now, if you want to develop CRUD operations, you need to mandatory dependencies. First is the Spring Web. Okay, and yeah, if you change something every time, you need to restart yourself. Okay, instead of doing that, you can use as a dev tools, Spring Boot dev tools. Okay, these two, and one more. Now, if you want to connect your database, you need to enable data JPA. Now try to see, just take Spring Data JPA. So it will enable, you can connect your database. And if you're using the Oracle database, you can use the Oracle driver. If you're using the MySQL, you can use the MySQL driver. Now you can choose your MySQL driver. These four dependencies are mandatory if you want to develop CRUD operations. Okay, now click next and finish. Okay, if you are creating the first time, it will take some time to download all the jar files. For me, it is already downloaded in my system. Now try to see here. Now if you choose here, these are Maven dependencies, all Maven dependencies you can see here. Your Spring Data JPA, auto configuration classes, everything will be available inside these jar files. Now try to see here, Spring Data JPA and Spring Data Commons. Okay, these are like all jar files added here. Now how it is adding, what is the importance of the starters, everything is explained in my initial session. You go ahead and watch, then you will have a better clarity. Okay, now this step is completed. Now you need to install your MySQL database. Okay, now in the Google, go and type your MySQL. Okay, download, just you can type MySQL download. Go ahead and go for www.mysql.com here. Based on your platform, okay, you can download your software here. Okay, here you can see here, customer download trial. This is an enterprise edition. Okay, you can say for MySQL community. Okay, let me click it this one. Here there is an installer option is available. Yeah, just now MySQL community server 5.7.31, based on your operating system. If you're using the Windows, either Mac, either Linux, based on the platform, you can download the software. Once installation is completed, okay, now you can download an IDE. Okay, if you want to see, even you can access from your command line. Instead of using, you can download one more software, Workbench. Okay, you can say my Workbench download. Just go here and click here. Yes, Based on your platform, you can download the software here. Once these two steps is completed, now IDE, how it will be, guys. Now let me see. Let me type the workbench here. Okay. Okay, now it is opening here. This is your workbench. Okay, you can create your MySQL connection. Click plus icon. Okay, here you can provide any name. You can provide as a Java Express DB. I'm giving here. Okay, default host name will be a local host anyway. Okay, now you can provide is a port number, no problem. This is your username, and you can test here. You can provide your password. Whatever password you given, you can give. While installing, it will ask the password. You can give. Now let me give a password here. You can choose test connection. Okay, please enter the following the password. Okay, let me type, save my password, click OK, and see, successfully made my SQL connection. Click OK and click OK here. Now if you double click here, your DB will be open. This is your workbench. Here you can create any number of databases and any number of tables. Okay, I hope you guys are clear about how you need to install MySQL workbench setup. Okay, uh, now two steps is completed. Now the third step you need to do, guys, uh, go for here. Okay, here you need to create a default, okay, a project structure you need to create. Now try to see, guys, this is your base package com.javaexpress.organization. Now try to see here, I'm creating four packages here. Okay, organization dot controller. Okay, all controller related information you need to create in this package. And again, I'm creating one more package. Try to see. Okay, now try to see, guys. Now I'm creating one service level package. All your business logics, you can write it here also. Let me refresh once. Okay, and still I need one more package. What we need? Model classes. Okay, your model classes will map to your database, right? Now click model package. Okay, I hope it is clear. For we have four packages we got here. Okay, now here model, controller, and service, three layer, and we need one more package, DAO, repository, right? Now you can open dot repository package. Now, okay, these are the common standard default structure. You need to create the packages in the same way. In the real time, you can create exception as one package, your security related information as one package, utils, if any common classes is available, you can create one util package. You can create any number of packages, whatever you need. I hope you guys are clear till now. Okay, now here, now I will explain about how you need to create a model class. So in this project, I'm going to explain employee related information, CRUD operations I want to perform. Now try to see here in the model package, right click, new class. Here I'm creating employee object. Now try to see here, public static void main. Okay, main method is not required. I need an employee model class, right? This is like your Pojo class. What are the attributes is required? Now you can try to guess, guys. Now try to see. Okay, if you want to map this employee to your database table, I'm using JPA annotations. Okay, now JPA annotations, you want to map your model class. Okay, now try to see here, at the rate entity, I'm providing entity. Okay, so now you are able to see entity Java persistence API is not able to retrieve, these annotations are not available. So to make it, you need to add one more starter here. Now try to see here, one more starter I'm trying to add. Just to copy here, you can change, you need to add one starter. Okay, here you can choose as a validation. If you choose here, all JPA annotations you can use in your model classes. Now try to see here. Now if you want to map your table, see java x dot persistence entity. Okay, that means this is the entity you want to map your database. Now if you want a specific table name, now try to see here, table I want to create a database in the backend as employee. Okay, now whenever you're executing this project, it will create dynamically employee table. Now I okay, for each table you have some names. Now I'm taking few names. Now try to see. Private long id I need for the primary key information. I want private string. Okay, you can take as a first name. Okay, now you can take as a private string last name and private string email id. Okay, still which attributes we need. Okay, I can take one more thing. You can say string passport number. Okay, these these five attributes I want to store inside your database. Okay, uh, now table is created, right? If you want to need a different column name, if you want to provide your model class, you can provide here. How you can make it? Now you need to inform to your database, hey, id is my primary key. So jpa, they are providing inbuilt id. See, java x dot persistence. Okay, it should be automated, right? We won't insert our ids. To do that part, they given some annotation. You can use generated value here. Here you need to provide your strategy. Okay, here let me give as a generation type. If you make it as a dot, you have a auto identity sequence table and class. If you are using the mysql database, obviously we are using for identity. If you are using the oracle database, you can use for the auto also. Okay, here these identities are different functionalities we have. Even if you want to do some sequence value, even you can perform those operations also. Now for my requirement, I want to generate my id dynamically, so I given this is our primary key. Now try to see, guys. First name, I want to provide my first name as different column. Now try to see, at the rate column, column equal to, here you can provide name equal to first name. I'm providing name equal to first name here. If you see here, whenever you are giving column name equal to first name, okay, same name it will be created. Instead of doing that one, I want to create first underscore name. What it will do, inside your database, it will create first underscore name. This is the column name. In the same way, now try to give guys same thing. Copy. Now I want to provide my last name, email id and passport number. Now try to change the names here. You can say last underscore name. You can provide as email id. You can say email underscore address, email address, and you can say passport number. You can say passport number. Is it clear, guys? I hope you guys are clear up to now. Okay, these are the um, jpa annotations. Okay, still we can do lot of things. Okay, each column I should not allow null values. Okay, it should not, while you are giving as input, it should not be a null. I can provide as a not null annotation. Now try to see not null annotation. Okay, same thing you can apply for your last name also. You can provide your email id also. You can provide your passport number. I want to provide not null. Okay, now as of now, this is my requirement. Future, okay, we will change accordingly. Some still we can apply more things. Okay, assume that yours is first name. I want to minimum 2 characters is required, and it should have at least 2 characters. Okay, now try to see how I can provide here. Here you can make at the rate size. One more JP annotation size is available here. Here you can provide minimum 2 characters. And if suppose if I try to given, okay, 1 character, I want to display this value. Now, first name should have at least 2 characters. I want to display this error message for the first name. If you try to give a single character, then it will display this error message. Now try to the same thing, just apply to your last name also. Okay, here you can say this is your last name. Okay, for the email, you no need to worry about, you no need to write, just you can use @email. All JPA annotations is available, you can just use those annotation functionality. Okay, and even instead of not null, I can provide one more annotation, I can use not blank. Even you can use this annotation also, it should not be a blank. Okay, now passport. Okay, passport has a minimum 5 to 6 digits will be there. Okay, it's like a alphanumeric, like minimum you can provide as a 5 characters. Okay, passport should have at least, you can make it. Okay, here you can change here. Okay, passport should have at least 5 characters. I want to provide passport number in this way. This is all about your model classes. Now if you need a default constructor I'm creating, and if you want to set some values for your employee object, now you can generate here itself only. Okay, where you can generate here constructor using fields, just you can select all, generate here. Okay, and now you can generate your setter and getter methods. Now try to see guys here, there generate setter and getter methods, just you can select all, just generate here. That's it, your model your model class is ready now. Okay, I hope you guys are clear till now. Okay, in the next session I'm going to explain how you need to create your DAO layer. Okay, how you need to create your service layer, then how you need to create your controller. Okay, I will be going to explain in the next session. Okay, thank you guys. If you like this video, please subscribe our channel and share as much as you can. Thank you guys, we'll see you in the next tutorial.